Hey there, how we doing today, guys and gals? Today is my push day training log. Today was kind of an odd day looking back on it. Day before yesterday, I done my light leg day, so nothing too strenuous. And then yesterday, I wasn't feeling it, so I took the day off. Yesterday was supposed to have been push day. But I did not feel like my body was adequately recovered. So I still took the day off. So I delayed push day an extra day is what I'm getting at. And I think the workout today started out pretty good. You'll see here in a little bit I done pretty well on the skills I was trying. But towards the end of my workout, I just felt absolutely killed. Like I don't know what it was, but I feel like something was really sapping possibly my strength, but mostly how well I felt. I've kind of felt a little sore. I don't know if the working sets that I had just completed had really taken it out of me, or if I still not quite recovered from that past skill day. But I mean, it's been a few days since I done skill day, and I don't think I went that hard on skill day, but who knows? It's just an interesting predicament, should I say. But anyways, today is my push day training log. I didn't really have anything particularly that comes to mind that I wanted to talk about today. So I guess I will just kind of talk here and there as the clips go on about what I am doing. This here, well, first of all, that previous clip, I was stretching out, loosening up, trying to really get loosened up before I start the warm-up. This is really where I start my warm-ups. I actually call this, and I think a few other people do too, at least back in the day when I first started doing this, they called this the 6-rep warm-up. And I'm not hitting 6 reps on every single one of these movements. Most of them I am, but I'm just trying to do something with this elastic band where my joints are being manipulated in various directions. The muscles are being asked to overcome small amounts of resistance. It's nothing too difficult at all. It's just to kind of get the body woken up and help it to further loosen up, further stretch out, and kind of start some muscle contraction and a little bit of coordination. Then this sledgehammer thing here new is recent, or I added new recently. Past couple weeks or so, maybe the past month. I think that is, just a little step up in intensity. And it's also really good for the wrists and the forearms. But again, it's nothing too insane. I'm just asking my muscles to overcome a bit more resistance. And then, likewise with that previous clip there, that push day specific warm up, again, that is probably a little turn up on the intensity that I'm asking my muscles to overcome. And the idea here, as you can see now, I'm continuing to turn up the intensity of the warm-up. I know this kind of looks like an actual workout, which I guess you could argue that it is. But I'm still doing the warm-up. I'm just cranking up the intensity of the warm-up pretty much until, it nearly matches the intensity of the skills I'm going to be training and the working sets I'm going to be performing. Alrighty, let's get into skill training. Here is handstand press, or press to handstand. I felt pretty good on this today. I jinx myself. I fall when I say that, but I felt pretty balanced on this, and especially here when I come down into a straddle planche. I felt pretty controlled here. I think I can still polish this movement up a bit, but my planche felt pretty strong. Felt like my arms were pretty straight. think I don't think I made the handstand press on this one. I think I had to jump up into it again. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. I got the handstand press here. Okay, I actually done really well there. Done handstand press, came down with straight legs. It was a pretty good one. I think this is a planche attempt. My straddle planche felt pretty strong today, like I was saying. I had pretty much straight arms. I'm feeling a bit more confident in that position. Here are some handstand press attempts. First one on the Bosu. I was not coming back up out of that. I got too deep. The deeper you get into this position, pretty much the same position that you use in a handstand press, the deeper you get into that position, the more strength it requires to come back out of it. So that's something to keep in mind. Got one handstand push-up, and I think I kind of lost it there at the top, but it's still pretty good. We're not trying to to master the handstand push-up in one day. We just do 2 attempts, and we'll call it a day there, and get into our actual working sets. So here are weighted ring dips. This is 32 pounds or 15 kilograms. In the vest. I am around 92 kilograms myself, so this is 16 to 18% body fat, somewhere in that area. I felt well, these really kicked my butt today is a good way for me to put it, especially on the second set. But I will also say I feel like I've done a lot better on the second set. You'll notice how much more controlled my reps are, going down slow, exploding up. Even turn the rings out on some of these. You're actually supposed to turn the rings out away from your body on the top of the rep. As you can see, I did there a little bit. And then I'm going to hit 2 negatives. See I'm turning the rings out. And then as I start to go down, the rings turn in. Gotta have a little mini rest, micro rest, get a little shake. Gotta try and convince myself that I can do another negative. Big deep breath in, blow it out, and we're gonna take that breath in again on the way down as we go down really slow and controlled. That's a working set right there. Alrighty, so now we're going to get into some pike push-ups. I really felt good on these today. I feel like I really was able to, it's kind of hard to tell in this clip, from the perspective of, not being me. But from my perspective, I could feel that I was really able to maintain posterior pelvic tilt and keep the core nice and tight. I felt a lot more balanced on these positions today. Felt a lot more controlled, and you could see how slowly I was able to come down there, to float my feet off the top of the bench. And I guess I got a little too confident, so I decided to grab some pieces of wood. And the idea here, this isn't going to, raise me up very significantly, but this is going to allow me to get about 1 to 2 inches more depth into the bottom of this pike push-up. And like I was saying earlier, the deeper you get into these positions, the more strength it requires to come back out of them. So, 1 to 2 inches, what is that, about like 5 centimeters? It's not a huge amount of distance, but it kind of exponentially grows. I know exponential is a word I've been using a lot lately, but that's how a lot of things build. And in this way, it goes against you. So the deeper you get into any kind of handstand push-up, pike push-up, handstand press, any kind of position like that, the more strength it requires to come back out of there. Alrighty, so we're finishing things up. We are going to hit some lateral delt raises, lateral delt flies. And I think at this point in time was where I was really starting to feel killed. I feel really exhausted, really fatigued, like I was talking about earlier. I decided to only hit 8 reps on these today, and this is usually one of the easiest exercises that I have to do. But I just, my shoulders were feeling the fatigue. The muscles were cramping. You can see me kind of wiggling around there, trying to shake things out. Just about any chance I get. And I think, and I show it here at the end of one of these next clips, but I think it was those pike push-ups. Not only did I crank up the intensity a little bit by adding those pieces of wood, which allowed me to get deeper into the position, but I also, like I was saying, I was able to keep my core a lot more tight, which put a lot more pressure on, the parts of the exercise that you want to put pressure on, your hands and your shoulders, your triceps, and your, the upper chest muscles. But at the same time, I feel like that fatigued those muscles a lot more than usual. So depending on how you look at it, that was a good thing. But from the perspective of trying to, do some more exercises afterwards, it kind of hurt things a little bit. But, that's okay. Like I always talk about, we don't have to do things, perfect every single day. We don't have to master exercises in one day. That's why we practice. That's why we do training. So hopefully I'll get stronger from that little variable I introduced, and hopefully I will be able to perform better next time. Hopefully we can hit pull day tomorrow. We'll see how I'm feeling. I am having a little bit of a cramp. I guess it's kind of on the bottom of my left arm. I don't really know how to explain it, but it was when I was doing human flag. I think it's where your lat, your latissimus dorsi muscles, I think it's where they join into your humerus, or the the bone that connects to your shoulders. I think it's that on my left side. I feel like I've strained something a little bit when I was doing human flag. So we'll have to see how pull day goes. I may have to take it easy on pull day and do some easier pull exercises. That way I can stay active and still try to assist the recovery from that strain and not accidentally make it worse. That is one of the biggest challenges of working out and doing things like this is trying to work out with an injury and work out around an injury. But that was all I had for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Have fun, have a nice day, happy training, take care of yourselves, guys and gals.